Hey everyone, my name is theSirhc and welcome back to another episode here on the Colonies, my single player Let's Play series. We're back at the skeleton farm, Dead Man's Cavern, because I wanted to fix this thing up, our little bone meal farm. Last episode we found out that in the newest snapshots, in the 1.13 snapshots, this type of farm does not work anymore, where you can plant in a dark spot and it'll plant. You can bone meal it quickly and then it'll pop off. No longer working in the newest snapshot. So we're going to have to go back to the old piston method. We're going to just move the dirt up and down. Although I do not have any pistons on me, and I only have 2 pieces of iron, which I'm going to need later on in the episode. We need 3 whole pistons this episode, and we have 2 pieces of iron. So I'm going to go back here and we're going to change up the redstone to this thing because I can actually make this a lot easier and without that piston there that we had. We can do this with, we can basically replace all this redstone that I had here with an observer block, and I don't know why I didn't realize that before. So let's bring this, does this block need to be there? No. What about that one? Nope. That one does. Okay, that's fine. Let's get down here. So we're going to put an observer block right here, and we're going to put our pressure plate right on top of that. And I'm going to go do that first before I connect all the rest of the redstone, because otherwise this will get a little bit messed up. Because placing the redstone will cause this thing to trigger, because the observer block will observe the placement of the pressure plate, not the redstone. Let's put that block back. All right, so we got that, and then we just need to connect this this wire up to that block there, and this thing is going to do exactly what it was doing before, except much easier. So let's grab that redstone. We'll just keep bringing this up. We don't need that block there, do we? Yeah, that's fine. So we'll bring that up, bring it up to here. By the way, I like using, I don't know if I've ever really mentioned this, but I've started using these stone slabs for my redstone. First of all, because you can do slabs going upwards, and that allows you to do, like, bring redstone up in a smaller area, kind of like this, go back and forth. So they're pretty useful for using on redstone. And also, it's nice if you don't want, you know, like this block to power anything around it. It's nice to use slabs so that you're just powering the redstone on top instead of the block underneath. And also it's nice to, so that if I'm digging around and I start to see slabs, if I'm underneath a slab, I might be able to tell that, hey, there's redstone there, and not to break that. So it's just kind of a safety thing as well. Anyways, so for this thing, all that we need to do is send a quick pulse to this piston, and this block when we stand on the pressure plate and when we get off the pressure plate. Because what that's going to do is when this gets a quick pulse and this gets a quick pulse, it's going to push out the block and leave it out in front, and then it's going to activate this little dispenser, which you can see right there, which has a lava bucket inside. So it's going to put blocks up there and right in their head and then dispense lava. And we can do that with an observer block. It'll send out a quick pulse when we step on it. Then we can slash them. They'll die in the lava. We can step off and it will send another quick pulse because it observes the pressure plate changing states. So now that we've salvaged the piston from over there, we can use it over here instead. So we're going to put a piston right here, and on top of that will be our dirt block. And then let's dig into here, and we can do some redstoning. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to have a block here with a torch right there, and this is going to be a fairly heavy redstone heavy episode, so if you're not into redstone, I apologize for that, but I think it's going to be pretty good. So we'll do a block there with that repeater, And then we'll do a block there. And then, let's see, what was next? We'll have to do a block there. I think we need a block there. We need full blocks here because we're bringing the signal down. All right, so that should activate the piston. And did this need to be... I think that needed to be 2 ticks. I can't remember. We might have to adjust that. Yeah, so that will bring the redstone from this observer block down to the piston, and it will retract the piston and then extend it. So that should work there. And then we're going to have a block underneath there, which I think we used stone brick right there. We're going to have a slab here, redstone there. Let's dig out over here as well. So then we'll bring some redstone over to this block right here. And that's going to power this dispenser and the dispenser that's going to be on top of there. That one's getting powered by this redstone there. And then I think we just need a water block, which we will put... it needs to be within 4 blocks. I think we'll just put it right back here. Should work. We'll just do that. And that will wet this this block once we till it. All right, I think that's everything. It's a little cramped back here, but hopefully you can follow a little bit what's going on. Let's put that back. And we do have light back there. That's good. I guess it's getting light from that torch over there. We could actually put some... we could put a block there so that we don't see back there, which would be nice, but that would also block up the light. So I'm not sure if we want to do that. And I think we can put a block there without causing issues, although I'm not entirely sure. Is that going to power anything? I think we're fine there. Although that should probably be a stone brick. Do that. And then we'll put a stone brick stair right here so we don't see the piston. And that should be everything. Let's get some bone meal in here. So let's give this baby a test. If we stand here, right click. Oh, it's not bright enough. I guess it's just fake light going in there. If we do that, there we go. It works. And I only have 1 seed at the moment, so we can't hold down, but now it's working. So it's a little bit slower than the old method. It's also a little bit louder with the piston going, but it does work. As you can see, it's getting bone mealed every time, and then it gets retracted, and we pick up our wheat. So there we go. It works fantastic. And we can't really speed it up anymore. If we change that repeater that was down there to 1 tick, then this thing messes up and will not work. Let's put a block there to block off that view since the light's not getting through there anyways. And as far as lighting this up, I'm not exactly sure what to do. All right, I have the solution here. So we are going to put a torch right here, and I went and found some sheep to murder, and I got some light gray wool. And then I suppose I don't have any cobblestone stairs. Well, that's fine. We'll do just stone brick here. Put a stone brick stair there, there, and there to block out the torch so now you don't see it. And this thing should be working fine then. Haha! We did it. We have a bone meal farm here at the skeleton grinder, which means that this place is done, right? I think so. I don't really like how bright it is over here, but that's what we have to do, I suppose. Now that that bone meal farm is out of the way, we are going to head into the nether. But first, I need some fire resist potions, which means we need some magma cream. That's what it's called, right? Magma cream, slime, and fire, the blaze powder. I know these words. So we need some slime balls. Have come to the swamp here at night. I'm a little afraid. I did grab some armor from the skeleton farm, so I do actually have head to toe chainmail on right now, which is pretty nice. But this right here, this is good. We found a nice big one right away. Luckily, it's not quite a full moon when slimes are spawning the most frequently, but we are in Was that a waxing gibbous? No, that's not a gibbous, is it? Yeah, that's a gibbous. Yeah, it's crescent is the small one, and then you got the gibbous. And waxing means that it's growing, I believe, if I remember my 9th grade or 8th grade science class or whatever it was. All right, some more slimes, please, and let's try and avoid all of these other mobs. There is an Enderman there, which I would like to murder, because eventually we are going to need some Ender Pearls. In fact, that's why we're heading into the Nether. I want to build a blaze farm today, and we're going to need the blaze powder and ender eyes to make the eyes of ender so that we can go find this stronghold. I see another slime over here. Maybe we will take on that enderman here real quick. Oh, we got baby zombie. Let's focus him first. Just see. Oh, I thought you were dead for some reason. I just thought the 3 hits would be enough. I always forget that they have the same health as adult zombies, I think. All right, I do see a big slime behind the enderman as well. Hi, zombie. I'm trying to get this enderman here. All right, enderman, come get me. See if we can get an ender pearl off of him. I think I do have 1 so far. We're gonna need quite a few more than that. I got another one, woohoo. And where did that slime go? I know I saw one hopping around. Oh, where did he go? I thought it was a big one. A biggin. He was heading this way. Let's try and just run through here. There we go. There's another big one. I think that might be enough once we kill this guy. But let's take care of these zombie villagers here. And that guy fell down. No slime balls from there. Okay. We do have some in here. Let's make sure we don't get trapped in here, though. So we got 17. Okay, I would like maybe a few more than that. There's another small slime. Well, we got 36. That is 4 slime blocks worth. Let's hop in our boat with our traveling companion Potato here. I just found this boat in my, I just found this pig in my boat today, earlier, and decided to leave him in there and name him. So let's head back home, and then we can make some fire resist potions and head into the Nether. We are now in the Nether and ready to start our blaze farm. So let's take a little fire resist potion. And I guess first off we need to start by, or it's a good idea at least to start by blocking off these blaze spawns so we don't have to worry about them. Hello? Things are attacking. So I'm going to put some blocks around this. What you want to do is just cover up the spawning area, which is 4 blocks out, so out to that block right there. We'll cover this all up, and you want to cover it. This might be a little awkward. There's some blazes spawning up there in the other spawner, it looks like, that we don't really have to worry about because they're all kind of trapped. Today we're just going to be working on this spawner. We're not going to do anything super fancy. It's going to be a pretty cheap, quick and dirty blaze farm, as quick and dirty as we can make it, because we don't have a lot of resources. So we're just going to be making this one here, and we'll focus on, or we'll come back later and upgrade them. We'll upgrade this one as well as build the second farm over there. So let's see, I think I got the bottom 2 layers done, and then we just need to do this 3rd layer here. You want to do a 9x9 layer, 1 below the spawner here, and then 1 at the same level. Hi, how are you? And then one block above. So I'm just clearing out these fences here so I can put nether rack 1 block above. And with the fire resist potion, I don't think I have to worry about their fireballs at all. I just have to worry about them touching me. I don't like them touching me. No touchy. Alright, so we'll block this up. And that should stop the spawns from this guy. Now, I would recommend, if you can, if you have access to them, use slime blocks for this. It is so much easier because when you're all done and you have to take out this layer, when the farm is all built up and you want the blazes to start spawning, slime blocks are amazing for that because they break in just one punch. And so you can hop in there, you can get them, all the slime blocks taken out very, very quickly without having to worry about, you know, being in a trapped in a room with a bunch of blazes. So I'm a little bit worried about where those blazes came from. I don't know if maybe I didn't make this wide enough. Where is that spawner? Spawner's there. Oh, I didn't. Okay, so this needs to be out one more block. Like this. Ouch. Oh, you're right there. Oh, I need to eat. Let's back off a little bit here. I don't want to die while doing this. That would be very, very nice if I did not die here. Then we can just block this up, and now they should not be able to spawn. No more spawning over here. Everything should be nice and solid. So what I'm going to do for this farm is we're going to do just a real simple funnel design. And you'll see, I'll talk about it more once I get the thing actually in place. It shouldn't take too long. I'll have to do a bit of digging here. But the idea is just that the box that they spawn in, as it gets further and further down, it's going to decrease in size by 1 block. It will go down 2 blocks and then over 1 block, down 2 blocks. And that way the blazes will float down, they'll step off a ledge, float down some more, and eventually they'll end up in a little 1x1 spot. So here we have our funnel for the blazes. Pretty simple, like I said, very quick and dirty. The size of this thing is, I went with just a 7x7 interior area. The spawning area of a spawner is 9x9. So if I wanted to maximize efficiency, I'd want to go that big. But since this is a quick and dirty one, this is going to be good enough, and it means that we don't have to make it as tall. We don't need as many ledges for them to walk down, because we're just relying on the blazes moving around and falling down these ledges. We're not using any pistons to push them down to make this thing more efficient. And then this height of this first box that we have here is 9 blocks tall. And the reason for that is the blazes can spawn in these top 5 blocks. That's where they're going to be spawning. And then the next 2 blocks down here, any blazes in that area count towards the mob cap of the blaze spawner. So if there's tons of blazes within that area, as far down as 2 blocks below the spawning area, if there's too many blazes in that area, the blazes won't spawn. So we have our first ledge 2 blocks below that, so that all of the blazes, when they fall, even if they land on this top ledge, they're going to be outside of the spawning range, and this thing is just going to be continually spawning blazes. We don't have to worry about the mob cap being reached, which for a spawner is fairly small. I want to say it's like 5 or 6. I can't remember exactly. It's been a while. And this thing is actually functional right now. We could clear out the blocks in there, let the blazes spawn. Eventually they would make their way down here and we could just slash them and kill them. But we're going to do some redstone to make this thing even better. So let's get started with that. First off, we're going to make a crusher. And the crusher is going to go right there. And then we're also going to separate the blazes. So we're going to have a little door right there. So let's take out this glass. We're going to need a solid block there so that the blazes will actually suffocate. So this piston will extend. It'll extend that glass block out. That will trap the blazes. And then this one will crush them. Now for this blaze farm, I'm going to make it automatic, which is something I've never done before. Usually you have to like pull levers or push buttons to make it work. This one, it's going to work off that pressure plate there, so that when the blazes fall down here, they're going to automatically trigger all the redstone by themselves. And actually, I already messed up. We need this to be a repeater. I wonder if I can do it from like here. There we go. That'll work. Put that block back. Then we'll have a block there. And one thing we need to do is turn this the pressure plate signal into a pulse. And we want it to be like a 5-tick pulse. So we're going to set this to 6 ticks right there. Bring that into that block, and then we're going to put some blocks up there and a torch there. Bring that down, and then a torch right there. So when this gets triggered, when something steps on that pressure plate, it'll send a signal through here, which will it'll power this block, which will turn off the torch, and this torch will start sending a signal. And then 6 ticks later, well, actually 5 ticks later, because the torch takes 1 tick to light up. So after 6 ticks or 5 ticks later, this will turn off, giving us a 5-tick pulse. Fancy, real fancy. All right, so then we'll bring this signal up, and I guess we'll just do full blocks because that'll be easier here. Bring this up to here, and do a repeater there. We also want to bring a signal up off of here, and I guess we'll have to break some of these. That's fine. Bring it up there, and then that'll go up there and up to there. So this signal from there, when something's stepping on the pressure plate, that is going to power this top piston, which will keep the glass block out. So now we need to make a timer so that the crusher only crushes the blazes for a certain amount of time. And our timer is going to look like this. We'll have a redstone dust there, 3 comparators in a row, redstone dust like this, 2 more comparators going into that block. Repeater here set to 4 ticks, and then 2 more repeaters both set to 4 ticks going into a block there. And I did not design this. I've used this for a while for my Blaze Farm crushers. It's just a diminishing comparator clock, so every time the signal goes around, it gets smaller and smaller and eventually turns off after, I have no idea how long it takes to hurt the blazes. But that should do it now, and we can actually test this here before the blazes come in. I'm gonna put a wooden pressure plate there, and that should work if we put an item on there. So that did not work. Oh, because of this block here. That block cannot be there. There we go. So now the glass block pushed out. Great. So I think that should be working. So now if we put it on there, the glass block gets pushed out, and then that nether brick block gets pushed out for a certain amount of time, and then it will pull back right there. Fantastic. So we just need to uncover the blaze spawner and then get these blazes spawned in here. And I'm almost done clearing this out. Wow, that was actually fairly painless. I didn't have too many blazes spawn while I was in there. A couple of them did spawn like right next to me and hurt me. But there we go. We got our blazes spawning. They're falling down. We got one down there on the second ledge. We got that one on those 2 on the top ledge. Eventually more will spawn. They'll move around a bit. Sometimes they'll push each other around when they get a few of them going. This design where you're not using pistons to push the blazes down, it does take a little while to start up. You know, it might take a couple of minutes to kind of prime the system to get blazes down in here. But once you get blazes down in here and you're waiting for blazes to spawn, then things are going to be going pretty quickly, or at least quickly enough. All right, let's go kill this guy. So we can just swipe him, and he should die with 1 hit. Now that'll let our new batch down, and then they'll get suffocated. Now with this, it doesn't necessarily pay to kill these guys right away once they get suffocated, once they get damaged. You kind of want to wait until there's a backup up above, because once 1 blaze falls on this pressure plate, the thing will close and crush. So it's kind of a waste. It's sort of a waste of time. You could fix that if you wanted to make this a little bit smarter. Is you could use a weighted pressure plate on here. I haven't done anything with those in the past, Maybe in the future, though, when we come back here and upgrade these, we could definitely do something like that. Put a weighted pressure plate here so that this thing won't trigger until a certain number of mobs, a certain number of blazes has fallen down, and then it will block it off, crush them. You can come in here and kill them, which I'll take a couple of hits with my terrible sword. Maybe I can adjust the crusher to make it last just a little bit longer. Get them slightly more softened up. But yeah, it is working. We're getting our blaze rods. We got 10 already. I think we have 10 back at home, that's like 40 blaze powder. I have used some of it for potion brewing, but I think we definitely have plenty to go find the end portal. Now look at that, 21 blaze rods. We got 2 ender pearls. We are well on our way to finding that end portal and fighting the dragon, which we're not going to do next episode. Next episode is episode 9, but we will do it the episode after, episode 10. So that's pretty exciting. If you have any suggestions for things to do next episode, before we go fight the dragon and lift our no caving restriction, let me know in the comments down below. I do have a few ideas, but I don't have any like big projects or anything that we really need to get accomplished. I mean, obviously we need more ender pearls, but I can go buy those from the villagers pretty quickly. And I mean, we have some armor. We got a bow. We're honestly like ready to go. I like the idea of waiting until episode 10, a nice round number. But anyways, let's end off the episode with our comment today, and it comes from ForestMan1. It says, great video as always. Do you have a favorite block in the game? A least favorite? What would you do to change it to make it better? For example, I love prismarine, but the lack of stairs slabs makes it hard to build with as a main block. Well, this is kind of hard for me. I don't know if I really have a favorite block. I guess I think my favorite block is probably dark oak and dark oak logs because I use them everywhere. I always find myself using them in every build. Spruce is pretty good, but dark oak is a little bit better just because it's slightly less saturated. So if you're using any sort of any color in your build, it can sometimes sort of fight with the spruce, I guess, if that makes sense, because the spruce has a little bit of a red tinge to it. Here's some spruce right there. It's kind of a bolder brown. It's got a little bit of red to it. I don't have any dark oak logs here yet. We actually haven't gone to a dark oak forest yet, but yeah, the dark oak logs, they're just slightly more gray, slightly less saturated, and so they go with more blocks. So I would have to say that's probably my favorite, as in it's the blocks that I use the most. Other than that, I really love the concretes. As far as what you were saying, prismarine is a great block. I love the colors of it. I love the different textures that they have in there with the dark prismarine, the bricks, and the regular prismarine. And I like how the prismarine like changes colors. I think that's really a neat feature. Definitely the lack of stairs and slabs kind of stinks. And that's kind of true with a lot of blocks, like the concretes and the terracottas. And what else doesn't have slabs and stairs? I'm looking around. I don't have a lot here, so I can't really think of too many other things. But that's definitely something that can make it a little bit more difficult to build, because you always, if you want to actually add detail to the build, you're going to have to incorporate stuff like the stones and the woods, just so that you can get those slabs and stairs. But kind of along those lines, like, there's some blocks that I don't necessarily like the texture of. I mean, obviously I've changed textures in my resource pack here, like glowstone, but as far as like blocks and how they work, not liking how a block works, concrete is a great example. I love using it. It's fantastic. But if you need to place a lot of it, like I did recently on Decidedly Vanilla, building the Guardian farm on there, I had like, I think probably 2 or 3 inventories worth of concrete that I had to sit out of the concrete mixer and turn you know, from the powder into a solid block before I could place it. And it just, like, you're basically mining these blocks twice before you can actually use them. It's very annoying. I wish that you didn't have to do that. It's a little interesting feature, but I think it just makes it a bit too grindy. Anyways, I hope that answers your question. I don't know. There's lots of blocks that, like, I'm not fond of, but usually I can find a place for, and I think that's actually kind of fun too, to find blocks that I don't use super often and try and find like a place for it in a build, try and use it in builds. So I have a hard time saying that like I hate any of the blocks or I would never use any of the blocks. I think that just, you're basically limiting your choices of things to do, and you're taking away that challenge and taking the easy way out. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed another episode here on the Colonies. Make sure to leave a like down below if you did, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, folks.